Now we are. So good afternoon, all of you. A warm welcome for a fresh week and a new session. We guys are dealing with our second unit. The level of second unit is random variable and its probability distribution. Some spatial probability distribution in this chapter. First, we guys are supposed to cover two types of random variable, that is discrete and continuous, which we had already covered. And then our focus was to define some of the spatial functions like probability function, and that probability function will be further categorized in two parts: probability mass function, probability density function. A probability function is known as probability mass function if the random variable with which we are dealing is discrete, then that probability function is known as a probability mass function, and the random variable is continuous, and we want to interact with the continuous random variables probability function, and that probability function will have the label probability density function. So as per I know, we had covered this particular slide. We had discussed about this, what is probability density function, and we had also gone for its one or two example. Is it? Had we covered this probability density? Good.
Yes, sir.
And after this probability density function, we had gone for the cumulative distribution function. And cumulative distribution function is denoted by capital F of X, and I defined that cumulative distribution function for two different types of random variable. There is a cumulative distribution function for discrete and cumulative distribution function for continuous. ये भी बात हो चुकी थी. And the notation for this is very, very important. We are using the notation capital F of X, is it? So capital F of X is the notation for the CDF. That CDF stands for the cumulative distribution function. Good. So this was the definition related to discrete, and this was the definition related, this part was having the definition related to the continuous random variable. And hopefully example 16 ho chuka tha. हाँ या ना मानसी? Get done with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what about 17?
Yes, sir. ये भी हो गया sir.
Good, okay. Then after 18?
Yes, sir. ये भी हो
Good,
गया.
good. And 19?
Yes, sir.
We're done with the 19 even?
Yes, sir. मतलब आपने basically बोला था सब कुछ ऐसे.
Had I solved this question or not in the previous?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I had provided the complete solution for this, is it? Look, this is the solution.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
K2 was having the value 1 by 9, K1 is having the value 1 by 3, and then we were finding the probability of all that P of X equals to minus 3, X equals to minus 2, X equals to minus 1, up to 3. So, good. And after that, in such a case, that must be our last slide for the previous session. यहाँ पे मैंने खत्म किया होगा तो शायद.
Yes, sir.
Let me check. Previous link check कर लूँ मैं एक बार, रुक जाओ. Yes, this was the last slide. Yes. This was our last slide, which I had delivered. So here in this particular, once if we are having probabilities for all the discrete random variable, if my X is going to take value minus 3, minus 2, up to 3, and if I'm having all the respective probabilities which discrete random variable can take, then we may go for its cumulative distribution function, and cumulative distribution function is labeled with capital F of X. And that part, what we are supposed to do, we are just supposed to add all these probabilities cumulatively. That means 1 by 9 will be as it is for the X equals to minus 3, and for the second, I was adding both of this, 1 by 9 plus 1 by 9, so addition of both of that was 2 by 9 was here. Then after addition of this 3 probabilities will be present here, it will be 3 by 9, and likewise for the last. ये last के लिए मैंने क्या किया होगा? We had added all these probabilities and that probability must be 1. Okay, so this was the story for the cumulative distribution function for the discrete random variable. Now let me take you for the next example. Let's try to identify the cumulative distribution function for continuous random variable. Now suppose we are having one of the function, one of the probability function, and if we are interested to find the cumulative distribution function for that probability density function, तो कैसे करेंगे? So this is today's first example, and this I'm having one of the function. Let me choose my pen. Yes, let me go through the instruction first. What we are supposed to do: find the constant k such that we are finding constant k. Look here, the k is that such that the following function f of x is PDF. That means probability density function. Now this PDF stands for the probability density function. That means by the word density, we can conclude that we can get information that we are dealing with the continuous random variable. If I use the word PMF, that means probability mass function, that means indirectly it says that we are dealing with the discrete random variable. So this is provided that this function is probability density function. So if this is a probability density function, then surely it will gonna satisfy both that conditions for the probability density function. Heric probability, it must be greater than 0, greater than equals to 0, and less than equals to 1. And second, summation of all of that must be 1, exactly 1, is it? So this is our probability density function. Now first, our first aim is to identify the unknown k, and then after that also find the cumulative distribution function f of x, capital F of x. Observe the word cumulative distribution function, capital F of x, and we are also supposed to find probability that my random variable, continuous random variable, is lying between 1 and 2. So probability that 1 is greater x, 1 is less than x, less than equals to 2, ये भी फाइंड करना है. तो इस क्वेश्चन में we are targeting 3 sub question. First we will go for k, then we will find cumulative distribution function, that means capital F of x, and this particular probability. So let's try to identify that. Now I'm having f of x as a small f of x. Observe the notation. Small f of x is that. Now my function is defined like that, k times x square. That depends on the condition if my continuous random variable is lying in the interval 0 to 3, and for all the other cases f of x will act as a 0. Otherwise means for all the rest of the cases, then this. So let me make these things clear to all of you. Suppose I'm having one of the number line. This is in negative infinite and this is positive infinite, and somewhere between them, suppose this is 0 and here is 3, suppose. Now for this particular range, for this particular interval 0 to 3, let me make it a little bit more bold. Yes, for the interval 0 to 3, I'm having my function f of x defined as f of x equals to, in this case, f of x is equals to k times x square. And for all the rest of the part, that means interval from 3 to infinite or interval from minus infinite to 0. For all these cases, my function f of x will act as a 0. So f of x is 0 over here, f of x is also 0 over here. Now this is the way the function, the probability function is provided in the data. This information is provided. So we are supposed to use this data, okay? We are not worried why my probability function f of x is going to act as a k times x square. That data is with us and we are supposed to use this data. Now what we can do? First we are looking for the k. First we are looking for what is the value of k. We are going to identify the value of k. कैसे करेंगे? So we are having that information. This function is probability density function. If this is probability density function, then we are knowing one of the characteristic of that integration running from minus infinite to infinite. F of x will f of x dx will gives us 1. Then and then that function can act as a probability density function. So we guys are going to use this particular, yes, इस प्रॉपर्टी का यूज करेंगे, कैसे करेंगे? लेट्स, as we know that this function is probability mass function, probability density function, sorry, then minus infinite to infinite f of x dx will surely gonna act as a 1. Let me copy all these things over here. Now my function f of x is not continuously defined, is it? My f of x is having three different kind of nature. In this interval minus infinite to 0, it is gonna act as a 0. For the interval 0 to 3, it's gonna act as a k times x square, and for all the values where x is greater than 3 till infinite, the function will have the output 0 once again. So what I supposed to do, I need to divide this integral minus infinite to infinite into three parts. Minus infinite to 0 f of x dx, then after 0 to 3 f of x dx, and the last part must be like that. Sorry, what's wrong with this one? I don't know. 0 to 3, sorry, not 0, 3 to infinite f of x dx. Now surely I can divide this integral into the specific integral into these three parts. कर सकते हैं, because look, observe, I started from minus infinite and had extended that integral up to infinite. Minus infinite to 0, then after 0 to 3, then after 3 to infinite. This is one of the characteristic, one of the rules for definite integral. So for this part, minus infinite to 0, my f of x is going to act as a 0, so इसका कोई मतलब ही नहीं रहेगा, 0 का integration 0 रहेगा. Then 3 to infinite, that means in this part 3 to infinite, ये part, वहां पे भी तो f of x 0 है, so ये इंटीग्रेशन भी निकल जाएगा, इसका भी कोई मतलब नहीं है, that will result in 0. So we are having just this information, okay, integration over 0 to 3 f of x dx will be 1. So using that, integration over 0 to 3 f of x dx equals to 1. Now 0 to 3, in that particular integral, f of x is having a value k times x square. So what I am supposed to do, I'm just supposed to integrate k times x square over the limit 0 to 3 with respect to x, and I'm having that function is PMF, so this integration will lead us to 1, and by solving this we will able to find the value of k surely. कैसे करेंगे दिखाता हूं मैं proper solution. Let me resolve the ink now. This should be the way. Once go through this particular explanation, this particular description for finding the value of k, and let me know whether you guys are able to identify the value of k or not, able to understand why the k is 1 by 9 or not. Kindly go through each and every step of this particular, वही steps है सारे जो मैंने अभी explain किए थे. यहाँ पे proper writing के साथ है with the proper typing. Earlier I was using my digital pad to make you guys understand. So let me know whether you guys are able to understand this or not. Quickly drop your reply over the chat box. पाँच छः लोग को पता चल रहा है, देवांश को भी पता चल रहा है. चलो, यस सर. What about the rest? I need each and every reply from every attendee. I need reply from every attendee. Anuj getting, okay, Devans, Aditya, Manthan. If you are having any kind of issue, any kind of query, then kindly unmute yourself, talk to me, feel free to talk with me during any time of this session. So hopefully we are good. Okay. So if you're having a value of k, now here k is 1 by 9. Now what I need to do first, I need to modify my function. My function was provided that f of x is equals to k times x square 0, if that depends on the condition. If x is lying between 0 and 3, then it is k times x square. In all the other cases, f of x can act as a 0. So first of all, I'm supposed to replace this value of k over here. If I'm having k equals to 1 by 9, then this function will act as f of x equals to 1 by 9 x square. for the limit 0 to 3 and rest of the cases 0. So what I had done over here, observe this particular step. Now I had just modified my function. My probability function is now f of x equals to 1 by n x square. And 0 मैंने क्या किया, सिर्फ k की value replace किया, nothing else. Okay, so we are done with the first part. We had identified the value of k. Now let's go for the find cumulative distribution function f of x. Now what is the definition of capital F of x if we are dealing with a continuous random variable? What is the definition of capital F of x माने कि cumulative distribution function if we are dealing with probability density function माने कि continuous variable? कोई एक unmute yourself, बताइए मुझे क्या थी definition, याद है किसी को? Just try, it's okay, गलत हो गया तो भी कोई issue नहीं है. You may try. Any of you. Or am I supposed to choose randomly from the audience? आप बता दे, अच्छी बात है. Yes, Raj. Jadeja, can you unmute yourself? Jadeja. May we talk, Jadeja? Yes, Raj Singh, are you attending this session or not? Okay. Then kindly unmute yourself, Jadeja. And feel free to talk with me, please. We guys will recall the network issue कैसे आ गया बेटा, ये तो गलत बात है. ट्राई तो कीजिए, आप अनम्यूट करने की ट्राई तो कीजिए एक बार. It will be visible over my screen. ऐसा नहीं है बेटा, हर बार इश्यू नहीं आता. बेटा अगर मेरी आवाज नहीं आ रही है तो आपने रिप्लाई नहीं किया होता. Am I properly audible to all of you? Hello.
Yes sir.
Properly यहाँ पे मेरी आवाज कट रही है कि properly आ रही है सभी को? मानसी
No
बताइए
sir,
मुझे.
properly आ रही है.
Okay. Aditya, am I properly audible बेटा? To you? Aditya Jha, Yash Thakur, Vidhi Parik. Am I properly audible to you guys? Okay. ठीक है, चलो. Okay. Let me choose one other person. Girish. Can you unmute yourself? Yes. Yashang is saying something. Capital F of x is f of t dt. Okay, integration f of t dt. What was the limit for that particular, Yashang?
Sir,
Yeah,
it will
absolutely.
minus infinity to small x.
Yes, minus infinite to small x. Minus infinite to small x, f of t dt. That was the definition I had provided for the cumulative distribution function for the continuous random variable. That was the thing like this. Minus infinite to x. Instead of writing f of x dx, I had used that particular f of t dt, but we are good with that. It's okay. F of t dt or f of x dx, we are not worried about that because we are dealing with a definite integral, and definite integral is totally free from the variable. बस यही एक बताना है कि ये जो x है और ये यहाँ पे जो x लिखेंगे वो दोनों एक नहीं है. This x represents the probability function and this x will be our limit कि कहाँ तक हमको cumulative distribution function find करना है. Is it? So that was the definition for the capital F of x for the PDF. That means probability density function. Now let me take you for that in the next slide. Yes, observe here. Capital F of x is integration running from minus infinite to x. As I said that, observe, as I said that, I can use f of t dt, I can use f of phi dy, I can use f of theta d theta, or I may use f of x dx. बस यही एक ध्यान रखना है कि ये x और ये x दोनों अलग बात है. Is it? This x is for probability function. So we're good. F of x dx. Now, I need to divide this particular integral into two parts because minus infinite to 0, 0 to x, minus infinite to 0. We are not sure about x. I'm not sure about x. कि मेरी x की value क्या है? Is it? It might be it is greater than 3. It might possible that is it is less than 3. So, but minus infinite to 0, ये पार्ट तो मैं अलग कर ही सकता हूँ. So what I'm doing, I'm dividing this integral into two parts, minus infinite to 0, 0 to x. Now we are quite sure that for that particular part, minus infinite to 0, as we know that 0 is and is minus infinity, ये part में तो मेरा priority function 0 ही है, f of x is 0. So what I need to do, I need to represent f of x equals to 0 for this part, minus infinite to 0. So ये integrand will be 0, integration of 0 will be 0. So ये निकल गया. That 0 is for that. Now for 0 to x, I'm not sure. यहाँ पे 3 है मान लीजिए. ये जो x की वैल्यू है वो 3 से बड़ी भी हो सकती है, 3 से छोटी भी हो सकती है, is it? So we need to consider that particular x as a variable right now. So what I need to do, I will replace that f of x over there. F of x is k times x square, and we are knowing that k is having the value 1 by 9. So instead of k, I'm writing 1 by 9 x square dx, and integrating that particular term, 1 by 9 integration of x square will be x cubed by 3 or the limit 0 to x. So while I'm supposed to replace x with x first, and then I will replace x with 0. Then if I'm replacing x with x, then it will be x cubed by 9, 3s are 27, 1 by 27 x cubed. And for the lower limit, if I'm replacing x with 0, then it will be 0 cubed by 3. That means 0 by 27, it will be 0. So 1 by 27 x cubed minus 0 will leads to 1 by 27 x cubed. So that should be the solution. That should be the probability, cumulative distribution function for that particular probability function. Now let me erase the ink. Wait, so it will be easy for you guys. So capital F of x is 1 by 27 x cubed for the interval 0 to 3. And if my x is greater than 3, then surely f of x will be 0. As I said that for here we need to act, here we are considering x as a variable. So I'm putting the condition over there. If अगर x जो है वो 0 से 3 के बीच में है तभी ये वैल्यू आएगी 1 by 27 x cube. And in all the other cases, if x is less than 0 or x is greater than 3, in all such cases f of x will be 0. Is it? So this is my cumulative distribution function. And yet we are panning with one more question, that is probability of 1 is less than x is less than equals to 2. For that, what I'm supposed to do, I will take the help of integration 1 to 2 f of x dx, and you can clearly observe that the interval 1 to 2 is a subset of the interval 0 to 3, and 0 to 3 I'm having the function as k times x square. That means 1 by 9 times x square, as I'm having the value of k is 1 by 9. So for this particular f of x, I will use that definition. So it will be integration over 1 to 2 1 by 9 x square dx, and solving that particular 1 by 9 will be as it is, and integration of x square will be x cubed by 3, as simple as that, or the limit 1 to 2. And by replacing both the limits, once 2 then after 1, we'll be able to find the probability that my random variable x, continuous random variable x, is gonna assume the value between 1 and 2. So let me take all of you for that solution. It should be like this, and the probability that the random variable x gonna take value between 1 and 2, it will be 7 by 27. 7 by 27. Okay, so kindly go through it once and let me know if we guys are clear or not. नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, कोई भी दिक्कत है तो बताइए प्लीज. Once again I am waiting. Yes, विधि ने आंसर दे दिया था, देवांश ने आंसर दे दिया था. एक बार गलत एक बार सही, ठीक है. निकिता सिंह, क्लियर सर. वेटिंग फॉर ऑल ऑफ योर रिप्लाई. जाडेजा, अब आपको मेरी आवाज प्रॉपर्ली आ रही है कि अभी भी दिक्कत है? इज देयर एनी नेटवर्क इश्यू येट? जाडेजा, यशराज जाडेजा, आर यू देयर और यू हैड जस्ट लेफ्ट द मीट? जाडेजा है कि नहीं है तो सही. जाडेजा, एम आई ऑडिबल टू यू बेटा? जाडेजा, आप लास्ट लैब में थे कि नहीं थे? यू आर प्रेजेंट इन द लास्ट लैब और नॉट? यशराज. अब अगर आपको ये बात सुनाई दे रही है तो सभी बात सुनाई दे रही है। ओके ओके, कोई बात नहीं बेटा, ट्राई टू गेट द नेटवर्क प्रॉपर्ली। ओके, अगर नीचे है तो ऊपर आ जाइए, कुछ कीजिए। ओके 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 यशराज, बाहर आना पड़ा सुनने, ठीक है। हम मिलेंगे जरूर बेटा, चाय पियेंगे एक बार साथ में, ठीक है, तेरे साथ में मैं चाय पीऊंगा। So this was example 20. Now before going for the next, now we will be covering some of the probability distributions, some of the spatial probability distribution as per the flow of our second unit. Okay, what was the flow of our second unit? First, we were supposed to learn about random variable, types of random variable, then uh, some of its spatial probability distribution. So next जो target वो है, we are going to cover probability distribution, माने कि binomial, Poisson, exponential, normal, all that are. We are having 6-7 different probability distribution. But before going for that, before going for the probability distribution, I need to give one of the filler for that particular unit. We need to learn some of the basic things related to statistic, that is what is expectation. Expectation का दूसरा अगर word में use करूँ, synonym use करूँ, then what is average value, what is mean, average value, expectation, all this we are saying. And what is median, what is mode, how to find the standard deviation, how to find the variance for the data, which we had already covered in 11th 12th. In 11th science we were having one of the chapter related to the basic statistic, और उस चैप्टर में हमने ये सारी बात सीखी हुई है. But before going for the distribution, I need to make you guys recall about that basic things. So next we will be covering that part before the distribution, and that will be a quite small session, might be 1.5 hour will be enough for that particular recall. But अभी के लिए क्या करेंगे, देखिए, we guys are clear with random variables and its probability function and cumulative distribution function for both the types, whether discrete or continuous. तो ये सारी बात होने के बाद we need to have one of the practice session. That practice session let me share with all of you. So अभी आप क्या करेंगे सब लोग, be ready with your lab book, the lab book which we are maintaining throughout the week. As I know, मानसी, lastly हमने exercise 3 किया था कि नहीं बेटा? Had we gone for exercise 3 or not?
No sir, exercise 2 ही करा.
Okay, exercise 2 ही हुआ इस lab में, it's okay. So what we are doing right now, we are quickly switching to one of the practice session for half an hour. You guys will be ready with your lab book. I'm sharing one of the PDF over the screen, as well as I'm going to share that same PDF over your WhatsApp group also, and will provide you proper time. And surely we will have an interaction for that. उसके लिए इंटरेक्शन भी करेंगे हम, आपको पूरा टाइम मिलेगा सॉल्व करने के लिए. एंड आई विल बी चूजिंग अ रैंडम पर्सन फ्रॉम द ऑडियंस. मैं ऑडियंस में से रैंडम पर्सन चूज करूंगा कि जो मुझे उसका सॉल्यूशन शेयर कर सके. दैट मीन्स व्हाट यू आर सपोज टू डू फॉर दैट शेयरिंग, यू विल क्लिक द पिक इन योर थ्रू योर सेल्फ. वो जो फोटो है वो आपकी गैलरी में आएगा. देन I had assigned the rights to all of you that for the screen sharing, आप जिसका भी नाम मैं लूँ वो अपनी स्क्रीन शेयर करेगा मेरे साथ, गैलरी में जाएगा और वो फोटो ओपन करेगा. So by that way the whole class will able to see your solution. That I will ask for one or two random person from the audience. Now that person I will gonna choose. Okay, आप नहीं बोलेंगे कि सर मैं शेयर कर रहा हूँ. I will ask some of the students to share that particular. Okay, and up se sari lab now onwards. We had already done quite basic things and we are dealing with the lab session. So यहाँ पे दोनों काम करेंगे, आप भी करेंगे मैं भी करूँगा, ठीक है. So it is not like that कि one way session है, नहीं आपको भी काम करना ही है. So be ready with your lab book. I'm gonna share my screen with all of you once again. Wait, let me stop this particular PPT. Stop sharing, yes. Let me share the exercise 3. Okay, Mansi, my screen is visible once again to all of you, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me share the same exercise over the PDF, over the WhatsApp group also. Right now I'm dealing with lab batch A, is it? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, the 3TP1 batch A, here it is. So last हमने exercise 2 की है, ठीक है. 3TP1 batch B might be shared with batch B. Now visit your WhatsApp. One of the group that is 3TP1 lab batch A. In that group, I had just shared one of the PDF that the same PDF which right now on your screen in this particular meet. So in that particular exercise 3, I'm having 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 question. Okay, forget about first 3 question. First 3 question will be your homework. Now, listen to me carefully. What is your next task? First 3 question of this PDF will be your homework. This is based on total probability and bias theorem. These are the question based on the total probability and bias theorem. So we are not discussing that point right now. So this 3 will be your homework. You're good with that. What I'm interested is question number 4 and 5. So kindly go for example 4 and 5. Let me make the clear. Verify for question 4. Verify whether the following functions can be regarded as probability mass function or not for the given value of x. ये जो नीचे के 4 क्वेश्चन है वो प्रोबेबिलिटी मास फंक्शन है या नहीं, ये आपको डिसाइड करना है. वेरी वेरी सिंपल. आपको क्या देखना है, हर एक प्रोबेबिलिटी 0 और 1 के बीच में आ रही है और सबका एडिशन 1 हो रहा है कि नहीं, ये दो ही कंडीशन देखनी है. एंड सेकंड फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन, रैंडम वेरिएबल x हैज फॉलोइंग प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. ये जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन दिया हुआ है आपको, दिस इज अ प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन फॉर द रैंडम वेरिएबल x. नाउ वी कैन इजीली ऑब्जर्व दैट दिस इज डिस्क्रीट रैंडम वेरिएबल. And what we are supposed to find, then find the value of a. We are having sum of unknown a in this. Yes, we are having a. तो वो a unknown a जो है वो find करना है. और then probability that 0 is less than x is less than 5 and probability that x is less than equals to 6. Okay. So question समझ में आ रहा है सभी को? All of you are able to understand the questions? और कोई question में doubt है? Reply over the chat box. Are you able to get the questions properly? Are you able to get the question? मानसी एक को ही पता चल रहा है, बाकी सब क्या है? गवार है, निकिता दरेड़ी, 2 ही 3 मानव, यश, यशांग, यशराज, रिद्धि, पथिक, जयदीप, गिरीश, बिपिन, आयुष, Anuj, Aditya. I need reply from all of you. Yes, okay, good. So we're good with the questions. I am assigning you 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 questions are there, and 4, 7. 7 sub questions are there. So I'm giving you 20 minutes for the 7 question. Once go through the solution of this, all these questions, and if you are facing any doubt in between, कोई दिक्कत आ रही है, कोई प्रॉब्लम है सॉल्यूशन में, then kindly unmute yourself. मैं यहीं पे हूँ, feel free to talk with me. और नहीं आ रहा है तो क्विकली इसको अपने लैब बुक में ले लीजिए. Then I will ask some of the random students to share their screen. Okay, so your time start now. It's 12:50. Now once again I will be here at around 1:10. Okay, मैं यहीं पे हूँ, कोई बात नहीं. अगर कोई भी डाउट है अनम्यूट कीजिए, मैं बात करूंगा. So take your time. We need the solution of this.